Hello, congratulations. If you've made it this far, that means that you are ready to maybe take your book kind of to the next level. Let me turn this music off. Maybe. All right. So what I have here are some books that I've made, and these pages in these books are made the exact same way that you just made your pages. I've added a little loop to them because I'm going to be hanging these they're tiny little books. I'm going to hang them from a little keychain, and then we've even written one-word story that kind of delivers a cool message to somebody that might need it. So this is what's possible, and you might notice all of these books have a hardcover, which really takes it to another level. So if you've made it this far, I'm going to show you how to make a hardcover for your book. Here's some materials that I'm using. So this is a Good Thins box that I've cut apart. I'm going to use this as kind of the inner workings of the book that we're going to make. I use a slightly nicer piece of paper, so this is kind of a nicer piece of drawing paper. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap it around this. I'm going to show you how to do that. So I pre-cut the paper, and then here's kind of how I thought about it as I was doing it. So you can see parts of that Good Thin box. This is the paper that I'm going to wrap around these pieces. And then here's how I thought about it. So I took my front cover and I took the Good Thins box and I did a measurement. So I actually used a ruler and measured, because I want the cover of the book to be just a tiny bit bigger. And in my measurement, just a tiny bit bigger was 2¼ inches. You won't have to remember this, so don't stress about that. By 2 7/8 inches, that made it just a tiny bit bigger. And if you look at what I've cut here, you can see when I kind of lay the book on there, it's just a tiny bit bigger, which is exactly what we want. So I've cut the pieces of the Good Thins box, and then the paper that I'm going to use to wrap this cardboard, you could just use this cardboard if you want, but wrapping it kind of takes it to up a notch. You want that to be about 1/4 inch, maybe a little bit less bigger than the piece of paper or the piece of cardboard that you're going to be using. So you can see that's a little bit bigger. Good Thins box, and the paper that's going to be wrapping it is just a little bit bigger. So the first thing I want to do is I want to attach this cardboard to this paper. Now you can use this. In fact, I'm going to use this in a minute. You can use this. You could use the glue stick for all of it, but again, glue sticks, one of the things that's tricky about a glue stick is getting it into all of the edges of your paper, whereas this, I know I can get it onto all the edges. So I'm going to use glue stick for a little bit, and then I'll use Elmer's glue to kind of show you how to finish it up. So I like to put the side that has writing on it out. You can do it either way. There's kind of an argument to be made for both sides. If you're not going to do some unique coloring, sometimes you can see the cardboard through that page. I'm going to use the glue stick to attach it. You could carefully measure to make sure that you've placed this correctly. One thing I have done before is I've kind of centered it, made sure that it looks kind of centered to me. So there's equal space all the way around, and then kind of trace an outline so that when I'm going to attach it, when I'm going to glue it, I know kind of where to place it. The corners are most important, so I'm going to make sure that the glue stick is touching the corners, and then just going to kind of put some across the middle part there. And then because I've traced those lines, I'm just going to go ahead and attach it. And with the glue stick, with any glue really, you have a few seconds where you can kind of slide it into the place that you want. You can see that I'm pressing with my fingers to make the glue adhere to the paper in the way that I want. Now that's ready for my next step. I'm going to go ahead and glue this one. This one, I'm going to show you how I do it most of the time, where I don't trace around it. Again, the corners are really important, getting those corners stuck nicely. And now I'm just going to kind of eyeball it before I really press into it. That looks pretty well centered. And then I'm just going to kind of massage with my fingers that cardboard onto the paper. And so now we're going to use the paper that we've begun to wrap this cardboard, and we're going to actually finish wrapping it. You're going to need a pair of scissors.